Mic check. Good morning, my name is Osa and we are playing FS19 on the Oakfield map. Let me turn the help screen off. So another week, another update to OBS. So just ran through a couple of checks to make sure it seems to be working okay. And we really don't have a lot to do on the farm right this minute. Where did I put my variable weight? Oh, right here. That's good. Oops. So, since we cut all the grass last episode, say last week, it's still the same day, game day, we can now run some fertilizer over it. I think this is probably loaded with herbicide, knowing my luck. Yes, indeed. Run over here. There we go. That's unloaded. And I forgot to shut the gate over there. As you can see, silage is compacted. Lights on. I think I'll probably fill this with fertilizer. Do the tractor manoeuvring better. Nope. Filling from. That's good. A little bit close to that one. We should have. I'm not sure. I don't think this is going to be a full tank, but it's going to be sufficient. And last barrel. There we go. So 21 litres off a full tank. Let's get out to the fields and get them fertilised. I'm not sure we're going to get another cut out of either of the fields, but if we fertilise them now, we don't have to fertilise them in spring. That's a tractor. And I'm not putting the narrows on because you can't destroy grass. Has now been set up as our haulage tractor. Field of oilseed radish. Looking fine and wonderful. Okay. So I'm going to position camera outbound for this. So we're in the position where we can actually see where we've been because of the change in texture, colour, shade, whatever it is, the thing. Hail team, good morning, and Captain Zenk, good morning. Welcome to the stream, and how is your Saturday? Weather update here. We have a dull, probably rainy day to look forward to. Which is going to be fun. Our governor has lifted some of our restrictions, so we can travel to our vacation homes in the north of Michigan. Not that I have one, but we could if we had. We got extended to the 15th, but let's say it's a little more, or a little less nanny state, and a little more let's treat the people like adults. So guys that run around in their truck with a trailer, with a lawnmower on the back, can now go and do cutting people's grass for them and getting paid for it without getting a $1,000 fine every time they're seen doing it. So that's a good thing. Basically businesses that effectively automatically social distance because it's a one-man operation and you're doing your thing. That's a good thing. And what a lot of the protests in Lansing were about were people who can't go to work, are able to work, don't work with people, and not hurting anybody. Can't get unemployment due to either they're not eligible or the government website doesn't work for 8 weeks straight. So you've got people who are still trying to apply for unemployment, can't get it, and haven't had a paycheck for 8 weeks. And a lot of those people aren't very happy. Our non-essential businesses or our non-essential retail can open. So you can now buy furniture and gardening supplies. We need furniture. We've been without furniture for 8 weeks now. And don't appreciate the governor telling us that furniture isn't essential. I mean, it might not be essential if you're a 3-year-old, but when you're my age, it tends to be nice to be able to sit on something comfortable. But we're going to have to wait until, I think, the furniture store already announced they're opening on the 1st of May, which is next week Friday. So we're going to have to wait another week anyway, in spite of the fact the restrictions on them opening got lifted this week. However, the other thing that we're being told is if you go into an enclosed public space, you must wear a mask. Unless you have some overriding medical condition that prevents you wearing one, like claustrophobia or whatever. But you don't have to disclose why you can't wear one, you just have to say, I have an underlying medical condition that means I can't wear a mask. However, there's no citation, no fine for not wearing one, so at that point must becomes we suggest that you do, because it carries no weight, or the directive carries no weight. We have a lazy boy, but that's over out in Ann Arbor, and that's a fair drive. We've also got an ABC warehouse, which we could make use of, since we also need a freezer to put stuff in. That was a problem. In our move, we got rid of a lot of our old stuff, and we don't have a big freezer. And we do have friends who run cattle ranches and Oh, what else? One of the guys queried whether we wanted a pig slaughtered, and it's sort of, it would be nice, remember us next time you do it, but we are in the middle of moving and don't have anywhere to put it. We still do have probably about a dozen steaks and a roast from the last time we obtained a quarter of a cow from our friends. So we'll probably do that again, because that works out very cheap. I mean, okay, it's a lot of money up front, but then you don't have to buy beef for ever. I don't remember the last time I bought a beef steak or a beef roast. Hamburger we ran out of. We went through that quite quickly, but everything else we still have quite a supply of. And it's a good thing to do for situations like this where stores don't have any food. And better quality too, yes. Well, you know the cattle have been grass-fed as opposed to raised on hormones. They used to run the farm as a dairy farm, but they quit that a couple of years ago, and they're very happy that they did, because the dairy industry is horrible at the moment as a farmer. At least in the US. But we've not had too many troubles finding what we need. Some friends of ours found some toilet paper the other week, so they bought us 2 packs and dropped them off on the doorstep. There was rumour that the local grocery store now has toilet paper. So, looks like things are slowly getting to not as dire as they used to be. Let's jump in the cab and drive. What else have we had going on? Yes, I did see someone's meme on Facebook, I think, this morning, which sort of had, Governor says wear a mask. The first thing I think of, picture of Zorro. Now, I could go with that, because that's the sort of comedic value I enjoy. Turning up at the grocery store in a Zorro mask. Well, she did specify what sort of mask. She just said we need to wear a mask, so I'm wearing one. But the other thing I've noticed, there's all sorts of conflicting stuff where, you know, the announcement is stay at home, but then some people, including government officials, turn that into stay indoors. Well, stay at home is not the same as stay indoors. If I'm staying at home, oh crap, let's go forwards. I can go out on my patio and have a barbecue and all the rest of the stuff. If I'm staying indoors, I can't. But there's no reason why I shouldn't be allowed to go out in my backyard and enjoy it if I have one. But there are the annoying neighbours who I'm hearing about. I don't have any, but Plus, I don't have kids, but there's people who are calling the police because their neighbours' kids are playing in their backyard. They're sort of, yeah, that's what kids do. Are they in your backyard? No. Leave them alone. Stop being so busybody. Yeah, it's almost a case of, look, I'm doing what I've been told to do and these other people aren't. Doesn't matter. Do what you think you're supposed to do. Do what you want to do. I mean, this whole lockdown idea, and people say, oh, we're coming out of lockdown too early. Well, if that's your opinion, stay in the doors. Continue your own personal lockdown. It's what's known as freedom. You have the freedom to choose what you want to do. And just because someone else has decided to go out and enjoy themselves has no impact on your life whatsoever. I want to go up to the beach and fish. I can do that. And it's not hurting you. And if I'm social distancing, it's not hurting anyone else either. But, anyway, that's those things in life. I still haven't got the desk set up. I have checked the various websites this morning. IKEA have updated theirs as of yesterday to say we're closed, but you can order online and we'll charge you $100 to ship things to you. It's sort of, yeah, no. Especially since last time I tried to place an order, half the stuff I wanted wasn't available. They were still going to charge me $100 for the delivery. And there was a 4-week delivery wait. So, okay, so I'm going to order a bunch of stuff from your website. I'm going to make sure at least it's semi worthwhile to add $100 for shipping, and then you're going to ship what you have left over in 4 weeks' time. I sort of, yeah, no, that's not going to work for me, because if I'd order a desk and all you ship me is one leg and charge me $100 for the delivery, I'm not going to be happy with that. So I'm going to have to wait until IKEA at least start doing a drive-by pickup, because I am not paying $100 for delivery for stuff that they might not have in 4 weeks' time. And unfortunately the desks I bought don't quite fit where I want them. So Mrs. Osa's decided to claim 2 of them for her craft room, which is coming along, and she's doing sewing stuff and what have you. So that's a good thing. But unfortunately it means that I've only got half the desks I need to set up the office. But I do plan on at least putting my desks in and rearranging half the computer furniture or computer hardware in here, so that we can make room in the living room for when we buy a sofa, which could be as early as next Friday. So, good things. We've also heard back from one of our adoption inquiries, and nothing seems to be too bad about that right now. So we're going to go ahead with the full disclosure meeting, which I'm not sure when that's going to be scheduled for yet. Our caseworker's taking a break, so the woman who runs the agency, the adoption agency, is taking over our case for a while, which is fine, because we've dealt with her multiple times. She was the woman that social services contracted with to do our initial assessment. So we've been dealing with her since we got into foster care and adoption. decided to make some bread this morning, so I've had some fresh bread for breakfast, which is awesome, although it didn't rise much because we set it on time delay, which means that the yeast is mixed with cold water rather than warm water, so it didn't rise too well. Honestly, I don't. I think some of the issues with foreign adoptions is you have to be prepared to travel to the foreign country, which, face it, ain't happening right now. And we're kind of looking for probably 8 years old at the youngest through to about 15, 16-year-old. I mean, the way I'm looking at it, I'm getting on a bit. I kind of don't want to be retired when a kid's still at high school. And but I also would like any kid that comes into the house to at least have a chance to get to know us and not be sort of, we're at a hotel for a year and then they're out, or less than a year and then they're technically adults. So that's where I stand, and if you do the math you can probably figure out how old I am. Now, there is one group of kids we would make an exception for, and that's the kids we had as foster kids twice. But we're really not looking for taking on a 4-year-old for the next 14 years or whatever. That's a little bit beyond our where we want to be. And the other sad news is building contractors have not been allowed to go back to work, which means we can't get any of the other work done on our house yet. So our contractor, who we got to do the floors just before we got locked down, is not able to do the 2 jobs, one of which was to frame up an extension, which the homeowners were then going to finish, and the other one was to build a shed or pavilion in the backyard. And it's sort of, how is he not able to do that? He used to work with his son, but his son is now a health worker type thing. Looks after older people in a hospice, I believe. So he doesn't work for his dad anymore, and the other kid that he had helping him has also gone off to college, so he works on his own. And there's nothing to stop him doing a lot of the jobs that he does. But the governor says, no, you can't do that because I've no clue why, because she has no logic. But that's life as we know it for right now. In the meantime, I should be speeding up time here because frankly we're not waiting for anything for the rest of the day. I was thinking about renting a stump grinder and going off and grinding the stumps in the forest that we own. Unfortunately, we really don't have much in the way of money, so that's probably not happening right about now. I don't have a big tractor with a front loader, so I can't chop down any more trees for right this minute. I think once we start getting through to winter, we will be able to sell a fair amount of our crops over the course of that couple of months. So I might be able to start thinking about buying some equipment that will help us make money. Like a medium tractor with a front loader. I could put a front loader on this, but I can't get one to match because we're using a metallic silver paint scheme and you can't get that particular shade, sort of Valtra metallic silver, for your front loader. I kind of like front loader arms to match the tractor colour. Maybe adding a John Deere to the farm. It's a problem. I've got so many things I would like to add. I'd like to add a JCB with a front loader, just the 4000 series, because that would make it functional as a yard tractor for moving stuff around the yard. Probably better than the Lindner we have. But also it's fast, so it's good for transporting stuff on the roads, and it's got a good engine size for moving stuff around, yeah, just haulage in general. I've never played with a John Deere, so it would be nice to add a John Deere. I'd also kind of like to add an Arian 600. But again, that's making a lot of mid-sized tractors, which I honestly don't know if spraying a grass field is common. I'm guessing most of the time a farmer would just go out and cut the field when it's ready. I can't even think American farmers who do hay and silage bales even. I've seen much, at least the ones on YouTube, I haven't seen much in the way of them doing fertilizing grass. So this is more of a game mechanic thing to rather than a realistic thing, I would say. I'm probably not going to go with a 6M or 6R, whatever it is. But I am looking at some of the JD mods. So I'm sure there's a bit I missed here. Yeah. Let's just spray this bit and be done. Okay. Let's run down the other end of the field. But there's, yeah, as I said, there's also other tractors I would like to include just because they're useful, like, as I said, the JCB. I think this tractor's only got 190 horsepower, but I am finding it is a little underwhelming for a lot of the tasks we're doing on the farm. It's good enough for spraying, but even our small trailer that we have for carting grain is a little on the heavy side for it. especially hauling from down here back up to the yard. But I really want to try and avoid using the Axion and the Challenger for that work if I can. Alright, that is all done. We have 236 litres, pretty much about as much as the herbicide tank that we have up at the top as well. So we'll need to be putting out another round of fertilizer on those fields, either later this year or spring next